everyone, to another episode of Spooky Japan Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest with us, Vince Kelien.
Hi.
Now, he's only going to be with a short time today, but it's okay because he'll be back tomorrow with someone who's also been on the show before, Pablo. So we're looking forward to that. Today, we just want to be able to get to know him, just him, and everything that he's done, maybe future plans that he knows of so far. So, Vince, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're excited. Thank you so much for joining us. So, to the viewers who are not sure who you are, how would you introduce yourself?
My name is Vince. I go by the Urban Investigator online on all platforms. I've worked at the Waverly Hills Sanatorium on and off since 2010. And within the last 2 years, I've been to right around 400 locations in the past 2 years, urbexing and ghost hunting. Don't mix up the two because I don't do the two together.
Okay. So, what got you into the paranormal?
Um, I've always been fascinated with it. I want to say when I was around 11 or 12 years old, I was left alone at the house when I lived in Texas, and I was doing stupid teenage boy stuff and running up and down the hallways. And I ran to the back room, jumped on the bed, turned around, and there was a little girl crouched over in the corner, and it scared the shit out of me. Um, So going a little bit further to around 2009, I saw an ad when Facebook first popped up and started becoming a thing, and saw an ad for the Waverly Hills Sanatorium having a tryout for haunt actors, and decided to use that as my way to kind of weasel my way in to work there as much as I could, and from there. On and off since 2010. I have done their social media. I've done maintenance. I've been a haunt actor. I've been a tour guide, a private overnight investigator. Um, Pretty much everything that place had to offer, I would do, um, if need be. Um, but yeah.
Sounds like you've done a lot, at least starting out doing that. I'm seeing you always at. You have a lot of pictures at a lot of locations, at a lot of conventions. Is that what you try to always go to the conventions?
So the conventions are just for me to push social media because I want to do this every week if possible,
Hmm.
and in order to do that, I have to get people to look at my content, and conventions are another way for people who are going to go see somebody else to walk past my table and be like, "Who's that? What does he do?"
Right.
So me being at the conventions is basically just promoting social media. Um, if you're ever at a convention, you can also find what I call haunted creations at my table. Haunted creations is a resin mold and jewelry based brand that I've come up with in the last year and a half. Um, Pieces of debris, so concrete, paint chips, and basically anything and everything that a location would sweep up and throw away.
Hmm.
It's put into resin molds and jewelry. So that's kind of your way of being able to take something home, a piece of history. But At the end of the day, the being at the conventions is just a honest way on how to promote social media.
Yeah, it's social advertising social media isn't always the easiest. Do you have like a page you also advertise those on, like the molds that you were talking about?
So the molds are pretty convention strict. For the time being, but every once in a while I'll put out something on all platforms to be like, "Hey, we're going to do a quick sell for for this location. All resin and all jewelry come from said location, whatever the case." So I used to keep everything on Etsy, and people will buy as wanted, basically. But I keep it pretty convention based for the most part.
I would be skeptical selling on Etsy nowadays with how people are. So yeah, I can totally see you not wanting to sell on
Oh,
Etsy.
it's not really. There's no problem with Etsy, not on my end anyway. It's just more of keeping up with product. Uh, I noticed. I noticed very early on that you get swamped with orders, and then that's like 3 days of making molds or making jewelry, and I get overwhelmed very easily. I have high anxiety, so
Where has been your favorite place to investigate so far?
to investigate, I have two. Well, three: Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Norwich State Hospital, and Penhurst State School and Hospital, or as people might know it more, more along the lines of Penhurst Asylum.
Has there ever been a place that's been too much for you? Like there's no way I'd go back there.
No way I go back. Probably not. Um, there's definitely some locations that I'm like, I would rather not. Just for the strict. What's up, Enfield? Um, there's not too many places that I wouldn't go back to. There's some that I'm like, man, I've been here way too much. I'm done for a while. But um, I can tell you the scariest place I've ever been to, um, and that's without investigating. It's just strictly urbexing. Was Hudson River State Hospital in Poughkeepsie, New York. Um, there's no breaking in. Basically, it's strictly urbex. They have security. They have guards. They're under construction 90% of the time. Um, but this big giant behemoth of a location is haunted as all hell. It's it's hard to describe because you're not just looking at a beautiful structure, because that's part of urbexing, right? Well, for me, urbexing is taking in the sights, the beauty, and what used to be, and what still could be, but our nations are not what they used to be, so they don't, they go the cheap route, and build these Lego structure type apartment buildings and hospitals and everything else. So now everything's just very, very Lego style now. But to go back, urbexing for me is going to look for these beautiful giant locations that just don't have any kind of popularity, I guess, because nobody knows about them. So a lot of the times, a lot of these times you're dealing you are hiding from police, or you're hiding from, excuse me, or you're hiding from security, or whatever the case. But uh, Hudson River State Hospital is scary on like 15 different levels. So Hudson has the Mel wing that was caught on fire multiple times.
Hmm.
So from the ceiling all the way down to the basement, everything has fallen in between the bricks, and there's nothing there in the hallways. You get over to the female wing and the north side of the hospital. You have a little bit more structure, but it's not much better. Um, but you're dodging security, and then if they call the police because they think someone's there, then you're dodging police.
Yeah.
You're hearing ghosts, you're hearing talking, you're hearing walking, you're hearing all the things that you hear all at once at multiple locations at one. So everything that you're afraid of, or everything that you hear about that people get afraid of at haunted locations, whether it be footsteps, talking, full bodied apparitions, shadows, whatever, this place has all of it. Now, not to get anyone confused with what I do or how I do things, I don't go urbexing for ghosts. I go urbexing for view, for eyesight, and what the beauty holds in these locations. Um, my version of urbex, technically, yes, it's still trespassing, but if the location doesn't have a door, that's open, a window that's broken or open, I don't go in.
Okay, yeah.
I don't add breaking and entering into the list. It's simply entering. So just so we clarify on that, because I know how Irene feels about that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at her.
Yep. I
But
have my own opinion about it. Yep.
I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as that's the scariest place that I
Mm.
can come up with, that I can think of now. As far as the most activity, I would say it's probably Penhurst State School and Hospital.
Mm.
Did you get a chance to
Oh
investigate
yeah.
there often?
So not often, because I live in Kentucky, so Penhurst is up in Pennsylvania. Now I'm through Pennsylvania a lot. Um, but the last private I was on at Penhurst, um, I had multiple interactions throughout the night, all of them which were personal experiences.
Mm.
But I was walking up towards the Devon building, and I get to the door. The door's already open, and I've got some equipment with me and everything. I'm ready to go ghost hunting. I'm excited to be at Penhurst. It's my first time, and I hear the typical normal "get out," but in real time with my ears instead of over a recorder or over a Ovilus. I hear the words "get out" very clear, and as I look up, I see a shadow walk in front of the doorway. I turned around and went the opposite direction. Um, I eventually went back to Devon to go explore, but the Devon building is a whole nother ball game at Penhurst. It's very real location with very terrible history, and not a whole lot of. This place was called the Shame of Pennsylvania,
Mm.
so there's literally no good history here.
Mm.
Um, what's up, Brooke? Um, but Brooke is awesome. I still haven't been to. I need to get out to Wildwood to go see her. They just brought me debris from Wildwood to make sure I have enough to make some stock for the sanitarium. It's gonna be a lot of fun up there. I can't wait to get up there. Have you guys ever talked to Brooke before?
We have not. We're
So
still, yes, maybe one day we will.
so
We're still
Brooke,
always looking for people.
right? Brooke is the Brooke and her husband Zach are the owners of Wildwood Sanitarium,
Okay.
and PA. There, it's from. I have tons of friends that have been there, and I've never heard a bad thing uttered about the place. They good activity, all around, amazing staff. Obviously, uh, I can't wait to get up there. I just haven't had the chance yet.
She can't wait for you to visit either.
We were just together at Ohio State Reformatory for Parapsychon.
Mm.
She had a
I
booth,
saw
I had a booth,
everyone's
and
photos for that, and I was
yeah,
so jealous. I
yeah.
wish we could
Between
do something like that, but it's just me and Irene in Japan who's into the
Mhm.
paranormal, or at least openly admitted that we're into the paranormal. Because we've
yeah,
been asked, why don't we have a paranormal convention
hi.
here in Japan? And I'm like, "'Cause it'd just be me and Irene that shows up, so I don't need to book anything. Let's just go to her house
Right.
and we'll just call it the convention."
Well, I wouldn't honestly. I wouldn't say that a paranormal convention in Japan is out of the question. I know a lot of investigators and everything that would take that special opportunity just to go to Japan to check out some of these other locations.
A lot of places are we can approach, and a lot of places we can't.
Oh,
It's
really?
choosing the right ones to go there
Hmm.
because you want to come up the next day, right? You don't want to be in a box.
Oh,
That's why
sure.
I'm like there are some places I've chosen for Amanda and I to visit already. I know which ones I'm going to go to, but then there are others that I will not. I refuse to go to because It's kind of dangerous, and even my son tells me, "Don't go there." My son is also a clairvoyant. He's an
Oh,
empath.
okay.
She's a
It runs
clairvoyant
in my
too.
family. It runs in my family. My
Yeah.
children are. All my children are. And yeah, my mother was too. And so, it's just a real kind of strange, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So we all see dead people
Excuse
more
me.
than we see living people.
Yeah, I got quite a bit of buddies that are
Yeah,
clairvoyant or have
yeah.
mediumship or
Yeah.
whatever the case. So I try to be as excuse me,
It,
respectful to their needs while going to
it's
these
very
places.
different in this country as far as spirits are.
Sure.
It's easier to go places where Amanda is than it is to go where I'm going, where
Mm,
I am,
So
yeah.
because
she's in Tokyo,
yeah,
and I'm on the very bottom of the island in
it's
Oh,
Nagasaki.
gotcha.
it's kind of dangerous. You don't know what the heck you're gonna run into.
Hmm.
They could kill you, they could harm you, they could make you sick, they could do anything to you that they want to. So I'm more towards the suicide part of Japan.
Hmm.
She's more with like tragic deaths happened
Mhm.
in her side, and
Sure.
it's like you got the atomic bomb, you got everything else, you got the crucifixions of Christians on her side, and we don't have that here. So ours could be more challenging, more dangerous than
Sure.
on her side. So everything that you do, you have to make a proper choice, and you have to be prepared properly before you do that, before you
Right.
go. And yeah, you don't want to come out like whoops.
I hear
and
you.
and there are people that came out like whoops coming here, and they go whoops going home, right?
Right.
And they had attachments and stuff like that. And I said, "Well, what the heck did you do?" Right? And they said, "Well, blah blah blah." I said, "Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that, right?" He said,
Mm.
"Oh, how do you know?" "Because I know."
I got to be honest. I don't think I would want a attachment that I couldn't understand.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, they don't care if you understand or not.
Right. I'm just saying, I would like to know what the person's saying before, they do something to me.
To tell you the truth, the spirit really doesn't care what language you speak. Uh, they'd understand everything. It
Right.
doesn't matter what language you have, because I'm into the let's have a conversation. That's what I do in my house.
Yeah.
I have a conversation with dead people. That's my job, okay? And they don't care what language you speak, because they'll speak any language that you can speak in order to
Right.
communicate with you. So they don't care. So yeah,
Some people believe that once you become a spirit, you start knowing other languages. There is
yeah,
that theory.
I've heard that also before. I know.
There's a lot of people are like, well, why do you go to this country and you're speaking English? How can they understand you? Some
Right.
people say it's once you pass away, you start somehow
Yeah.
like other languages.
I've
they
heard
learn
that
to
before.
adapt. They learn to adapt, right? And you'll be able to understand them.
Specifically, tourists coming, that's what you can tell them, get out.
Yeah,
So if you'll get out to someone who only speaks English and Japanese, they're not going to know what you're saying. Just stand there.
Right.
yeah. I'm lucky I speak both languages, so I'm good there.
That works out in your favor for sure.
Hmm. And I'm not afraid, but there are things that, nope, not doing that, not going there. Sorry, like I will just say that.
Right.
It's just that, like, or I can't hear you. Like I can hear you perfectly, but I'm like,
Right.
can't hear. Sorry.
Is there a place that's on your bucket list for places to investigate?
There's plenty. I We were talking about the suicide forest before we started.
Hmm.
That's a big one for me.
Hmm.
Um, in Ireland, there's a place called Loftus Hall.
Mhm.
that I don't think that they're doing anything, and I don't think they're going to start up doing anything. I think it was a one and done for Destination Fear, and I think that's pretty much it. But the Winchester Mystery House in California and
Mhm.
Alcatraz are two big ones to check off my list. Um, some other ones to check out for me in the near future is Franklin Castle and Wilson Castle. The history is really sporadic with both places,
Mm.
but I'm very eager to check them out. There's a couple of urbex places or places that are strictly urbex that I have on the list coming up pretty soon. This weekend I will be in Tallahassee for work, but um, it's to assess storm damage for my IT company,
Mm.
and there are multiple places since these tornadoes have hit in
Mm.
Tallahassee, which is obviously very sad. Luckily, there wasn't many casualties,
Mhm.
um, but there are several places now that are just open
Mm.
because of the tornadoes. Um, New places are being built in place of those buildings,
Mhm.
so all of like security and like police and all that kind of stuff are busy in those other areas. So there's going to be a lot to check out this weekend that nobody has went to, no one has been to, obviously because it's new within the last month. So those are going to be some exciting places to check out. um, from what I understand, there's two hospitals and an old asylum that's already been abandoned since before the tornadoes, I guess.
Mhm.
um, but essentially, I get this question sometimes. I'll just go ahead and say it before you ask it. The goal with urbexing for me is to film a video. I want the owner of that building to see the video.
Mm.
And the reason why I want them to see it is because I want them to see what they could be doing with said building.
Mhm.
You're letting a building sit there and rot and ruin
Yeah.
when you could be showing off its beauty and its history. Now, whether you like ghost hunting or not, as an owner, you don't have to be into that, but you could fix it up and get
Mhm.
it to the point to where you could give historical tours, or
Mhm.
you could sell it so where someone could make apartments for them, or whatever the case.
Mhm.
There's this hospital up in Mass called Danvers State Hospital. Danvers was a psychiatric hospital. If you've ever watched any of the Batman movies or you've read any of the comic books or anything like that, Danvers was the inspiration for Arkham Asylum.
Mm.
Um, because some of the most what you would essentially call crazy people came out of Danvers.
Mm.
Um, but what our ancestors didn't realize when they were putting their family members or girlfriends or wives, whatever the case, into these mental institutions is that there wasn't actually anything wrong with them. Just because your wife told you no
Mhm.
doesn't mean she's crazy. And a lot of the
Right.
times that would
Mm.
happen.
Yeah.
A wife would be disobedient or something, and the husband would just throw her in the loony bin for a couple months, and then when she came out, she would obey essentially. And that's no reason whatsoever to for someone to get checked into an insane asylum. So these, I'm not really sure how things go in Japan or what the history is there with those kind of mental illnesses, but in
We
America
don't
we were
know.
really, huh?
They have one up in the mountains for people, but then again, you know, people um sent their other members to the insane asylum, especially if they saw spirits,
Hmm.
if they're an empath or anything like that. Yeah, you'd be automatically thrown in an insane asylum. But um, that's why we stay quiet here.
Yeah,
I don't speak of anything here.
yeah, I
If
don't
I
blame you.
do, I just don't have any. Like, what do you see? I'm not going to tell you what I see because I'm not going to talk about it.
Right.
I don't. I still don't talk about it.
Well, here in America, they don't get into detail like that. Back in the day, they just simply call them witches and burn them at
Yeah,
stake.
yeah. And they threw them in an insane asylum
Yep.
because they were different, or they had different point of view, or they saw things differently. That's what they did to
Hmm.
them. And you know
Unfortunately,
what?
here mental health is not really
A thing.
taken care of, and that's one
No,
thing when I came here is they had a check beforehand is your mental health is okay? Because if unfortunately it's not okay, they're like, "You're not gonna get help,
no.
so you can't go."
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Or
um, that's
or
extreme.
you don't have insurance. So yeah,
Well, I mean, if you're moving to a different country, how are you supposed to have insurance?
yeah,
You
Yeah,
have
but there's
to.
still down here, I can't ever speak for Irene's area in Tokyo because Tokyo's obviously a huge city. So I'm like, but down here, for more of the country, and there's no psychologist or psychiatrist for you to go to. So it's like if you need
no,
anything for mental health or depression, you're on your own. And that's why they're just like, we need to make sure you don't have any of those and you're sound of mind.
Right.
yeah.
You're okay before you're able to go.
Gotcha.
It's sad, but it's the reality. I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
It's just how it is.
that's
It's
unfortunate.
they family members really don't want to show if the family member's not healthy
Yeah.
mentally or physically. Um, yeah, they just put aside, especially if you live in the countryside. There are more strange people who are not like, you know what I mean, and they have more problems there. So they put them in a institution.
Right.
They house them in an institution, and they still do that even to this day. So yeah, and they're locked away in the mountains.
That's
You're not seen.
that's
Yeah,
hardcore.
yeah, yeah.
This seems really hardcore for absolutely no reason.
It is, but it is what it is. It's
You know, if you're not functioning, yeah, you're kind of like heard but not being seen,
Mm.
and it's just different.
It
Long
doesn't
time.
sound. It doesn't sound like you guys enjoy living in Japan.
Well, I do because it's my home.
I
Right.
Uh,
do. But I'm saying if you're not mentally prepared, you're not
yeah,
Right.
able to come.
Yeah.
and long
A lot
time.
of people don't realize that.
If
They're like,
you
"Well, I have depression medicine." I'm like, "Unfortunately, you can't get that here." That's one thing they tell us is you're not gonna be able to get that here.
Right.
if if let's say if your children was didn't come out 100% quote unquote normal,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't let them survive. Okay,
Oh.
yeah, a mental handicap, they wouldn't let them survive either. Now the doctors do allow them to live, but before they never did.
Jeez.
Yeah,
That's some
so
hardcore history there.
yep, that, I mean, yeah, that happened. Like, but they don't do that now, but they
Mm-hmm.
did before. Yep,
Gotcha.
it's just different now than it was before. It's 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 the most difficult country to live in if you're not used to it.
Sure. It
Once
sounds
you get
like it.
used to it, you'll love it though.
Yeah.
I want to go to Yokohama for Pokemon Go Fest.
I've seen pictures of that. I knew someone 'cause I know people who live up there and they went there
Yeah.
and they took photos. It is packed though. That's the one thing you
I
have
am.
to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
hear Yokohama's crazy
I'll
during
take
that
you
time.
because I used to live there,
Yeah.
and my shrine is up there, so I
You,
go
That is still
here.
popular here, the Pokemon Go game on
oh,
mobile.
it's still popular here too.
Yeah.
It's never went away. Everyone's so hardcore about it.
It's I feel like it's more popular here.
Oh
It
no, for sure in Japan, absolutely. Well,
it
it
is.
Yeah. I'm
originated
like,
in
I'm
Japan.
pretty sure it's more popular here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Brittany.
It's And the games, yeah, they do have that. And the cards, they do that too here.
Yeah. We
You'll
have all that stuff, and Americans are pretty hardcore about it, but obviously it originated in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So it's always going to be more harder in Japan
Mm-hmm.
than anything.
Yeah.
I spoofed my location 1 or 2 times just to get some that you can't get in America.
Mm-hmm.
Food here, definitely. You won't eat like a normal person.
Nope.
I'd probably get sick of the food, honestly, because I'm not a big Japanese fan as far as food is concerned. I would just eat sushi and then I'd probably get sick pretty
No,
quickly.
Fish here is so fresh. They caught everything that morning.
it's
Right.
a law with it. It has to be served within a certain amount of time.
Oh,
If it's not, it'll be thrown out.
right.
There's a law with sandwiches, rice
With
balls.
sandwiches.
Yeah, sandwiches too.
Everything here, yeah, because they don't want to ever risk food poisoning.
Salmonella and food poisoning, stuff like that.
So you only have this amount of time in
Yeah.
between to buy it or to serve it.
Right.
If not,
Wow.
it gets chucked. And yeah,
NATO curry and peanut butter. That sounds disgusting. Andrew, what are you talking about?
Peanut
That sounds-
butter? Oh, peanut butter is expensive here if you buy it.
Yeah. peanut
Is
butter
it?
really expensive.
Why?
It's introduced. It's from overseas. So anything
Oh.
from overseas, it's yeah. They have to bring it in, and then they pay tax, import tax, and
Yeah.
then you pay consumption tax afterwards.
I know
So
there's
I bought a little jar for $50.
The $2 jar of Jiffy that you
my
buy at the grocery store
God.
is $50 here, just to put in perspective.
I'll show you. It's
Because
in my
some people have
fridge.
shown me pictures where it's like $2 and something cents for them. I'm like, that is $50 here.
that
So
is
that's why I tell people-
robbery.
That's
For
why
some-
when
I'll
people
show you.
say,
It's in my fridge.
what can I bring here to give as a gift for like housekeeping? And I'm like, bring peanut butter.
There you go.
They'll think
That's my $50.
$50. Oh my God. I pay like $2 for that.
yeah, that's what I tell people.
No.
Bring peanut butter and you
You
will
know-
look like a big spender here.
You know what's crazy is that Zach would starve. Yeah, I bet he would. You know what's
Yeah.
crazy about that is that there's in America now we have international like food dealers. So you can go into a mall. There's hardly any malls left, but the ones that are, they'll have like this international
broken.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have like this international store where you can get food from Canada and Japan and China and Ireland and whatever, like snacks and drinks and stuff that are in Japan that aren't here. It's not that expensive. It's really not.
I find from a international grocery store in Tokyo, and yeah, I mean it's really expensive.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like if I want to buy some instant oatmeal, quicker instant oatmeal, I paid $50 for that. Plus 10%.
Irene, listen, honey. Oatmeal's not that good to begin with.
Plus 10% consumption tax on
It's
top
the
of
fact
it.
that you can't
You
have
have
it all of a sudden you want it.
You have to pay tax to eat. We're used to that too.
Yeah, but I mean, right off the bat, you have to pay 10% consumption tax
Oh
on
my
anything,
God.
on everything.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. When you go out to eat after 11 o'clock, you pay, what was it, 20%.
Oh my God.
But you see, I know where to go eat, and you don't have to do that.
I mean, shipped as a gift. I don't think they can't do anything. Like if you ship something over here to us now.
Do you guys need me to go shopping for you? I will listen. I'll get both of your addresses and just pay for the food and pay for shipping, and I will send you whatever you want as long as it doesn't need a cooler. Okay, I'll get you your peanut butter and your oatmeal and whatever. I feel so terrible for you guys. This is crazy.
But you see,
Oatmeal, 50
I'm so
bucks?
I'm so used to it, right? So it's the way that I've been living here, and people say you're nuts, but hey,
Dude,
I,
for 50 bucks, I will get all that shit that you want.
you know, and I got my Oreo cookies too. It's yeah.
How much are those?
She has to get them at Costco though.
Y'all have a Costco. That's interesting.
And I can't find my peanut butter at Costco. I can't find my Jif peanut butter at Costco.
Yeah, because Costco's
Do it
weird
on
like that.
purpose.
I can only find Skippy peanut butter, and Skippy peanut butter is too salty. So
Oh, gotcha.
that's why I use Jif. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how much I
No,
spent on.
tell me how much them Oreos are. Come on now.
Everyone wants to know about the Oreo.
Yeah, Oreos. How much were they? Tell me. Come on, Irene. Come on.
$4?
No, she's saying $40. That's crazy. Irene, I'll get you Oreos for like $3 or $4. That's crazy. When you went like this, it should have been 4, not 40. That's crazy. Just to enjoy some snacks. They're just ripping you guys to shreds over there.
I paid $30 for a big bag of Lay's potato chips.
How much?
30.
Ugh, that's crazy. As Americans, we have like the highest obesity rate over here. I can go through a bag of chips over here in like one setting. That's $30 for chips.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us will just sit there and just munch and munch and munch and munch and munch, knowing that we can run back to the store for $3 or $4 and get another bag. That's crazy.
It is. Yeah. When you come, I'll take you to the international grocery store. Like you can't.
He doesn't want to go there and spend like $100 on one thing.
Spend anything under $100 there, right? And yeah.
Oh, okay. So let's get away from like corporate brands, right? So like, what are we looking at? What are we looking at to go have a meal? An authentic Japanese cuisine? Is it cuisine?
I can take you to a place near my place that you can eat. Like if for 3 of us, we could have a meal for like all 3 of us can have a meal for $20-$30. And
okay.
Fourth meal.
Okay,
like,
that's normal here too.
The meal, the rice, the pickles, the soup, everything on one tray.
Right. So are you okay? So like what you're explaining to me is like is it like hibachi? Is it the same thing or
no? It's like the anything cooked that you want to eat. Like
okay.
Chicken, you can have pork, you can have whatever.
Sure.
And whatever you want. And yeah, it's it's served on a tray, and that whole tray is yours.
Oh, right. So I think I seen one of the things on TikTok. Somebody was in Japan or whatever, and they had like this little conveyor belt. They just pull the noodles out of this little like river thing.
You can eat all. It's like all you can eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive. It's really cheap.
That's crazy that they charge you guys so much money for like big corporation brands.
Well, it's like an introduced company, right? It's introduced to the country.
Y'all have McDonald's, don't you? Do y'all have like a dollar? Do you have like a dollar menu, or has that went away?
No, we don't have a dollar menu.
We don't have a dollar menu.
Did you ever?
Nope.
No. Okay. I was curious because ours went away completely.
You get it's like $7. You get a drink, you get your hamburger, and you get your fries.
Yeah. Quarter pounder is not a thing here.
Nope.
Oh, gotcha.
Don't be thinking of McDonald's.
Samurai hamburger is got a special sauce, two cheese patties.
Oh, the Big Mac. Yeah. I think that's the Big Mac.
It's called Samurai. It's a different. Yeah.
Oh, so they're like, since we're in Japan, we'll make it culturally appropriate.
Oh, they got a Big Mac too, you know.
Oh, okay.
It has a double Big Mac too, where it's 4 patties.
The
Yeah.
double
Instead
Big
of-
Mac. That sounds
Yeah.
like death. Good Lord, it sounds like death.
they don't
Hey,
have self-serve drink bar. You have to get your drink from when you
from the
pay them.
cashier. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
There's also
typically
no
how it
such
is.
thing as free refill. So if you get a second soda, you're paying for a second soda.
Yeah.
Right. There's
Only place that you can get free sodas refills is at Costco.
right. Yeah. Infield, right? That's crazy.
So
Mhm.
everywhere else, no, you have to pay for a second soda if you get a refill.
Okay, so question. So we're not even talking about what we're supposed to talk about. I don't care. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
What are we okay, so what are some of the American restaurants that are in Japan, and what are they like, and what's your favorite?
Denny's. Uh,
Really?
uh,
We have
we
KFC down here.
KFC.
KFC is actually what they mostly eat in
Mhm.
Japan on Christmas.
Yeah. We got
It's interesting.
Mr. Donuts,
Oh, there's not very many of those left here.
Starbucks, Domino Pizza,
Domino's is so trash.
Pizza La,
We only have Domino's
Pizza
down
Hut,
here, pizza wise.
Pizza Hut.
So y'all don't have Papa John's?
We don't down here. We only have McDonald's, KFC, and Domino's.
Oh,
She
okay.
does six. We
But when
got
I went to Osaka, we went to eat in a food court in a nearby mall, and it's funny because they had Wendy's, but it's under international foods, but Wendy's is called First Kitchen here.
does
got
does it still have the
Cafe.
redheaded girl with the pigtails?
We got Hard Rock
No.
Cafe. We have Tony Roma's ribs place.
But she does not down here.
Yeah,
Tony Rumba's is a ribs place in Japan.
Yeah.
It's a pizza place here.
We got Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
We got what the hell else do we have? Oh, we got everything.
No, in Tokyo.
Yeah,
Not down here.
that's because that's
I
not
think
too far where I live too.
I want to say Tokyo they're probably just trying to appeal to American tourism.
Pretty much. That's why it's mostly up there, that in Osaka.
Not really. That's all in Roppongi area. It's the most expensive place in Tokyo to
Gotcha.
go browsing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's more like international where that is. It's more like where all the foreigners hang out.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah,
so what's the nightlife in Tokyo? Is it everything that we watch on a Fast and Furious movie, or is it like,
Yeah.
or is it just like dead?
I don't know. I don't go out at night.
You don't go out at night.
Nah.
So how's the crime rate in Japan? It's probably minimal to none, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. We're so used to, like, I literally just got a notification 2 minutes ago that there were 3 shootings last night in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh,
So
you want to? My children, my son and my daughter, go to night school, so they leave home around 5 o'clock. They come home about 11 o'clock at night.
sure.
So they take the bus, they take the train, and they take the train back. And
Yeah, y'all aren't big on cars, are you?
Commuter trains are cheaper.
Ah, I gotcha.
And
However, there's no way you'd catch me in one in the bigger cities around rush hour in the morning or evening, because they literally do hire people to shove you in there.
and because when we
Wow.
go on the train,
You know what? I've seen the videos of, like, people in Tokyo like crossing the street, and it just looks like a bunch of little ants. And they're just going from one side of the road to the other, and the roads are huge.
the way he drives to Tokyo, you can have fun. I'll let you sit in the front seat.
Not all roads are like that. It's funny because there are a lot of places, because they're so windy, that a two-way will be the size just big enough for one car.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that always makes me nervous because I'm just like, I personally would not know what to do if the road's only big enough for one car if someone's going up the opposite way.
Right. So there's an island in the USVI in the Virgin Islands that's called St. Thomas, and there's this road. There's this road that it's literally the size of the car, but they allow both lanes of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense. I was ran off the road probably 3 times while I was there. And you're driving on the opposite side of the road, which for Americans it's on the right, and Europeans is on the left. And I wasn't used to that because originally the islands were British territory.
Yep.
So it was all like French Canadian and
Yeah.
England and stuff like that. And nobody was used to it. And I mean, we must have gotten ran off the road 3 or 4 different times.
You'd love to go in the mountains too, because you have the mountains, you have the guardrail, and you have the cliff.
Yeah. I've seen quite a few exploring videos where they'll show the roads like they're walking up a road to get to an abandoned spot or whatever, and a car's just coming, and there's nowhere for these guys to go left or go right because there's a hill, there's a mountain right on the right side, and there's a wall on the left, and you're just screwed either way.
Yeah, yep.
So they have to like jump and hang on the side of the guardrail just to be able to not die, I guess.
Mountains are accessible. I wouldn't advise you to walk in the mountains at nighttime here. It's it's pretty haunted.
Yeah,
So
I don't doubt
besides
it.
that, animal-wise, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what animals
We
are we
have wild
talking about?
boars. We have so many wild boars in Japan that I would not. That's also why I wouldn't want to be in the mountains. Is those things are aggressive.
They got deers, and they got raccoon dogs.
Raccoon
Tanukis.
dogs.
We have a tanuki that lives right below our apartment building.
It's called a raccoon.
My dog
like
found out where it sleeps, and they like to growl at each other every morning.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
They look like a raccoon, but it's a darker color. They don't have stripes. It looks like a dog, and it has ears.
Are they rabid?
Well, yeah, the face looks like a raccoon, but I researched it, and it's more in a canine family.
Yeah, and it's omnivorous. It eats anything.
Gotcha. That's terrifying.
They don't like people, so they're hiding in the bamboo forest all the time.
Aren't they bad luck? Andrew, I've never even heard of this. This is new for me.
No, because you can buy statues of tanukis to put.
They're good luck.
Yeah.
They're good luck. They bring money to the establishment.
The statues, yes. The real things may or may not try and eat you.
I've seen the real thing. My veterinarian captured one because he was injured. And he used
it's cute. It's really cute.
It is cute, yeah.
It's adorable.
Until it's growling at you. It has a mean growl.
It's so.
Yeah. And it's only this big. It's only this big, It's not very big. It's only that time. Yeah.
It's adorable. I'd be dead because I'd pick it up.
You'd be trying to pet it.
Yeah, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so this makes a little bit more sense, and I scrolled down a little bit, and some of the movies that come out of Japan are some of the movies that are like based in Japan, like Disney movies and stuff like that. I've always assumed that, like, what's the one movie? What was that one movie I just saw? I don't know the name of it, but there's one here that's a Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a raccoon, that was a tanuki.
No, that was a panda.
No, there's another animal that looks like a raccoon.
It was, yeah.
So it wasn't a raccoon, it was a tanuki. Is it tanuki or tanaki? Okay. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. Learn new stuff every day. That's like a cryptid.
They
I
have
wouldn't know what to
deer
do if I saw
here.
one.
They have a deer here. They have
Shifu was a
all kinds
raccoon.
of.
Okay.
They got yeah. They
He'd
got
be he would be a Tanuki if it's over here though.
Gotcha.
they got they got jungle cats too.
Okay. I'm seeing a lot of jokes here. What? Why are there so many images of Tanukis having large?
Ding dongs.
Yeah. What's up with that? What's the deal there?
Being fertile.
Oh. Okay. In America, that means you have your. You just think you're hot shit, basically.
Yeah.
They have a festival in Tokyo, right?
Mhm.
Where they bring out a big, you know what?
Oh yeah, there's
Well,
literally a festival for.
I've seen the
On
inflatable
the
actually.
street with that thing. You can buy certain things made out of look like you know what, shaped like
Mhm.
you know what you're supposed to eat.
That's funny.
I mean, that's called being fertile. They have a place in the mountain where they have a big you know what made out of wood.
Irene is so embarrassed.
I'm not even.
I've been there, okay?
That's funny.
Yeah, it's,
Like I partake in the festival, so
That's
it's
funny.
this pathetic.
there is 2 hours north of me. A lot of people would want to come and investigate. You'd probably want to urbex it since it's in the mountains, but there is a
Mhm,
town. Have you ever
mhm,
seen Wrong Turn?
Yeah, of course.
I think that movie was based off of this town, where literally in the mountains they have a town here in Japan where it's abandoned now,
mhm,
but it was when it did have its residents. They made this town in the middle of the woods
mhm,
because they didn't want to do they did not want to be under Japanese law. So if you walk in the woods, the sign is still there, and it
mhm.
says, "Past this point, Japanese law does not exist." So everything
Oh
and
wow.
anything went. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the best way I can describe it to people is that basically think of Wrong Turn. That was actually a thing here in Japan.
Gotcha.
it's it's uh it's a place where all kids growing up knew about. Um, my husband grew up knowing about that place. He he was born in that same island as Amanda is, and he
Gotcha.
knew that place as a child.
Probably
And
still had some residents then.
he said, "You want to go?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to go." And then I said, "Okay, we'll go together," because my husband
Uh
knew where it is too.
is it a I don't think I can pronounce this.
In Nunaki Village.
Inunaki,
Yeah, I guess.
You can
Inu
also
Uh
look up Howling Village, Japan, because that's
Inu
what
means
translates
dog.
to.
Howling
Howling
Tokushima?
Dog Village.
cry.
Okay. 15,000 people were identified as residents in the 1950s. However, reports regarding yokai sightings and yokai related
Yeah,
phenomenon led to a mass exodus.
yeah. Because my husband grew up not too far away from there.
Gotcha. It says there, it says the only people in the town is squatters.
Yeah.
So if there are residents left, that's what's left is squatters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the places is that uh, I would like to go out of Nagasaki into Hashima. I know that that's like a bad idea or whatever, but I hear so much
Hiroshima.
about it. Yeah,
Hiroshima. I've been there. I could take you.
there's a lot of other explorers that are buddies of mine that have been and say that it's unlike no other.
There's a sunken ship. They brought artifacts back. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You won't
Imagine
believe.
if they could do that for the Titanic. Wouldn't that be crazy?
You won't
I think they
believe it.
tried, but
Well, the whole thing was as if they tried to if they tried to lift the Titanic out of the floor bed, that it would just
You
fall
would
apart.
believe it,
I
right?
yeah, I remember reading about that because they thought
Yeah.
It
about it, but then they had scientists do the math, and they're like, it's not gonna survive if we brought it back up.
Yeah.
after World War II, when the ship was sunken by American fighter planes, they brought back some of the items from the sunken ship and uniforms, like very haunted, I
Very
tell you.
haunted.
And they put
The-
a, would you believe it? They put a doll in the display case, and that doll moved, and I go,
the doll moved.
like, my husband said, "Oh, this is cool. This is cool." I said, "Yeah, not doing that. Not going there." Then I had to sit. And I said,
They
"I
they do that here in Tennessee at Pigeon Forge. There's the Titanic Museum.
Yeah.
yeah,
And they've got artifacts from the ship. I guess they when they the last time they did some scavenging down there, and they pulled up a bunch of plates and dishes, and they pulled up a wall, like a side of a wall or something.
unbelievable."
And they have ghost hunts there quite often, but it's like
Mm.
really super organized, and you have to be on a wait list and all this other kind of extra stuff.
I
But
imagine. It's funny. So in the movie Titanic, at the
excuse me.
end where you see the guy at the very edge of the ship on top of it, they're like that was based off of a real person,
Yeah.
and he survived because he was so drunk that he
Yep.
didn't freeze in the water.
Yeah, I remember the story. He actually worked for White Star Line, and the second that he knew he was going under, that they were going to go under, he was like, I'm going to go out the best way I know how, and
Started drinking.
ended up not dying at all.
They say that's what made him survive was he had so much alcohol in him that
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
he didn't freeze.
Absolutely crazy.
There's another place that you can go to. I'm not going in there, but you can go into the Nagasaki Museum of the Atomic Bomb. That place
Oh,
is
well, that sounds fun.
haunted too. It's
Yeah.
Not too far from me.
it's not too. It's extremely haunted. I went there once. I nearly passed out, but you can go if you got a strong constitution. You can go.
Right.
Not going because I got sick and I nearly.
Oh, that's no fun.
It was bad. They had artifacts in there that were melted, and you can touch them. You can feel the energy, and it's really bad.
Jeez.
Yeah, they got one more in Hiroshima too. I didn't go because I got affected by the one in Nagasaki. I didn't want to go in the other one. So I said, nope, not going. You can go. I'm not.
Right.
They got a Hiroshima castle is haunted too.
Yeah.
I mean, it has swords that were used. Some of them were used. And yeah, you could feel the energy of a guy cutting his guts open.
Ew.
Ooh is right. Hey, and man, they got the main sword and they have the little sword, the little dagger. The little dagger is
Mhm.
bad. The big one, well, yeah, it's used to cut off a person's head or it's used to kill a person, right? Yeah,
Right.
that yeah. The little dagger, you gotta be careful because it was pretty nasty. And I went through that place and I had to sit down. I said, no, I'm not doing that. And I said, my husband said, what are you doing? Why is your face all white as a ghost? You're turning green. I go, no.
White as a ghost, but you're turning green.
Yeah. I was just like, oh,
That's
but I
funny.
couldn't stand it. I said, I gotta go there and sit down. I said, you can finish the walk through, and I'm just gonna sit over here. And I said, when you finish, let's go downstairs. Let's leave. So
Right.
I leave. Yeah, and that castle's haunted too, because I saw a little boy peeking around the corner outside.
How'd that go?
He was okay. He was about 4 or 5 years old. He was doing this. He was like
Just
peeking.
looking over the side of the wall.
Yeah, and there was nothing wrong. He just said hello to me, and that's it.
It sounds like so much fun.
Like I said, Japan's really haunted, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
what?
the cat
90%
wants
of it,
your attention.
yeah, 90% of Japan's haunted, okay? What? Lay down and go to sleep. I mean, 90% is haunted.
Yeah.
We don't have to go very far to see anything haunted. Amanda can go out the front door. There it is. There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. There you go. I can go out my front door. I go. There you go. There you go. There you
I'm
go.
sure.
Right.
I
I
don't
mean,
doubt it at all.
yeah. I mean, certain areas they made hospitals and they tore it down. And guess what? They're using it as a park, right? Guess what?
Ghosts running all over the park.
Yeah. Mm-mm. 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 And there are lots of parks here that are haunted too. There's lots of there's a beautiful beach. It's attached to a park.
hmm
You can go there during the daytime, but after 9 o'clock, you're not supposed to go there. I learned that from my uncle, and my aunt said, "Don't go there after 9." He goes, "Why?" Because they'll take you, and they won't find a body. They won't find you anywhere because the spirits that fought in the war,
hmm
they died on the beach, and they'll take you away.
No thanks.
Yeah, tell me about it. And I know where that's near Yokohama too.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know. I pretty much. I know that Japan probably. I know. Like I said, it's a bucket list in a
You
couple
won't find
different
it. You
places.
won't
But
find it in any history page. You won't find it on Google. You won't find it anywhere.
yeah. So how do you know about it?
My aunt, my uncle.
Yeah.
Everything here is word of mouth. That's how you
Gotcha.
Yeah,
learn about stuff.
Right.
it's
I
like
love the ghost stories. I love the ghost stories where they're like, and no man lived to tell the tale. Well, how do
yeah.
you know it? Well, then how you know about it?
Yeah.
Well,
Huh?
I
What you
heard.
talking
Right.
about?
It's funny, because going to Mount Fuji, right?
hmm
All the haunted places lead right up to it on the same road.
Okay.
So you go through one mountain, which which I will take you, and it leads to the Suicide Waterfall. You
hmm
go beyond that. There's a
Why is it called Suicide Waterfall?
Amanda. You tell him.
So when Japan lost the war, a bunch
Uh-huh.
of the locals were upset, so they climbed this waterfall to jump down to their death.
That sounds very American like because when we get upset, we get pissed off and we'll do extreme shit. But they got so upset that they jumped the waterfall just because
Yeah.
it's
They
not
didn't
like
want
it's not
ruled
like
by, they didn't want America to take over their country.
well, it's not like America did.
Nope, but they were afraid of
They
that.
were afraid it would happen though. I gotcha.
So
You're
they
like,
killed.
let's
That's
go
about
ahead and
how
do this before they take over.
that's
We're
that's
American.
that's about how America feels right now with President Biden, and then there's a lot of people that feels that way if Donald Trump gets elected. So I mean, maybe it's history repeating itself. I don't know.
So, anyways, when you could, I'm gonna take her to that waterfall. Um, when you could, there's a bridge that you can cross.
Mm-hmm.
You could watch the waterfall. You won't see much, but if you take a still photograph, you can see the residual energy of the people.
That sounds like fun evidence.
That they could see them climbing. You have to take a still picture.
Yeah.
You blow it up on your phone. You can do it on your phone. You can do it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You blow it on your phone, and you could take a still picture, and you could see them plunging.
Wow.
It's 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 something else. And I think the school kids take a 3-day trip up to that area. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they take a class photo. I looked at, and they blew it up. Right, I looked
Mm-hmm.
at, I went like that. All right, because you could see it in the background, right?
Sure.
And then Then I asked the teacher, "Do you know this picture's haunted?" I go, "Where?"
That's funny.
I go, I said, "Okay, believe what you want.
Right.
Like they'll deny it, right? That's what it is right now in this country. They'll deny it. But I know better. Amanda knows better. We know better. It's a haunted picture,
Well, I mean, if it's well enough, then people should know what it is when they look at it.
and it's taken by a professional photographer, right?
Right.
So there's no screwy thing going on, right? So yeah,
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah,
that's what I
because of
go
what I call
through.
the TikTok investigators. Everyone thinks everything is fake nowadays, though.
Oh, sure.
But that's why I go through my Google, look at the news, and I see something tragic happens, and
Mhm.
the photographer takes a picture. Whoa! I said, "Holy!" I went like this, and
Right.
yeah, that picture's haunted. And they say, that's. I said, a professional photographer or newspaper company would not have dust on their camera, right?
Sure. Yep.
They're taking precautions. They're taking really good care of the camera, so nothing stupid comes up. And I said, wow, like that. And it's in my iCloud on my phone because
Yeah.
I could, yeah. And I shared it. It's pretty bad, yeah,
Cool.
and it's real. You know, like that's why I go through the news, um, and social media news through my Google to see what's up,
Sure.
and I pick them out. And I copy them to my iCloud, and I keep them there, and I use them in my group as a haunted picture.
I very much enjoy especially for my content and everything. Google Drive is my lifesaver.
Yeah.
100%. There's nothing better because I've got um I it doesn't matter which way you take it. So like if you put everything that you have on a drive,
Mm-hmm.
um what if the drive becomes corrupted?
Yeah.
Or what if you lose the drive? Like cuz it's mobile, it's portable. What if you lose it?
Yeah.
Or what if it breaks or whatever? With Google, I know that I'll eventually get it back if Google Drive goes under for whatever stupid reason. But
Mhm.
eventually I'll get it back. It'll eventually come back to me at some point. So Google Drive is a lifesaver for everything.
Yeah. Google Earth is really cool too, you know.
It's how I use a lot of it's what I use to find a lot of abandoned spots actually.
Mhm.
Any place you've investigated before, have you researched the area beforehand, or do you wait until after to see if anything lines up evidence wise?
So for abandoned places, like I said, I don't ghost hunt at all.
Mm.
I'm one of those people that I feel like ghost hunting abandoned places is a bit of a cash grab for
Mm.
YouTubers. Um, I understand doing it. Like I get it. The place, whatever place you're in might be haunted, but like in another sense, we pay to go to these other places, right? Like Trans Allegheny, Waverly Hills Sanatorium,
Mhm.
Ohio State Reformatory, whatever. We pay to go to these places. And if you're putting out content online, um, I feel like you should have to pay also.
Mm.
So my content when I go urbexing is just strictly that. It's just urbex content. It's seeing the view, seeing what the hospital or the asylum or whatever the building was at one time, seeing what it looked like, and showing people that may never get to go or maybe too scared to go because you're dealing with some stuff, right? You might be dealing with local police or maybe the building has a security or something like that. So urbexing is scary for a lot of people. So they may never see that building or they may never get to see the inside of it or whatever the case. So that's just I don't waste, not to say that ghost hunting an abandoned place is a waste of time, but I don't waste people's time with,
Mhm.
you know, it is what it is.
They had a really great hospital here It's on the side of Yokohama too. It's called Sakamihara Hospital.
Yeah.
And after it closed, it was the best haunted place to visit for paranormal. Kids went in there, they spray painted the walls, they
Of course I did.
it, and they had to tear it down. But it was one of the best places for paranormal investigators to go to, like real paranormal
Mm-hmm.
investigators to go to, because the morgue and the the uh, surgical rooms and the ward was extremely haunted, and it was one of the most interesting, the most, like, everyone knew about that hospital, right? But then these kids went in there and they trashed it. Now they had to tear it down, so it's not there anymore. But everyone got really mad because of that. And the thing is that they really didn't have any respect for the building itself.
Right.
And it ruined a lot of opportunities for real paranormal investigators. And that was happened a little while ago, long time ago. And you know, it it tears me to pieces when I see that and I hear that. And I heard it on the news that it was one of the best paranormal places to go to, but yet kids trashed it and it's gone now.
So we can't have nice things.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's one in Ohio right now that is in the middle of demolition. It's really
Yeah.
unfortunate. Has nothing to do with any of those things, but I do hear of some people every once in a while having a hospital that was in really great shape at one time,
Hmm.
and they could
Yeah.
have done something. The local state or county or whatever could have done something with it. And there was a guy here. If you've heard of Fairfield County Infirmary, Madison Seminary, or Indiana State Sanatorium or Stark Saloon, a couple others too. This guy named Adam Kimmel. Um, he runs these places. He doesn't run ISS, but he does the booking and all that kind of extra stuff. But he wanted to buy that place, and he's done really well with the other locations. The other locations are like top tier. They're being like renovated and all this kind of extra stuff. He does public and private ghost hunts, and they're very popular on the East Coast. And he was trying to buy out Molly Stark, and the county would not let him buy it because he didn't have $1 million in the bank. So they're just gonna tear it down. Place is gorgeous too.
Yeah.
If either one of you get a chance, shameless plug, head over to my TikTok. I have a full story on Molly Stark and the history and the walkthrough that I did. Just like all the stuff that you see in the video is so just, oh god, it's a gorgeous place.
You know, I just, you know, they're there for preservation for a reason why, right?
Right.
And they, if you don't respect it, don't go in there. Don't mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it for the history of the place. And it's just a sad thing that happened. So now they don't leave it there. Now they just tear them down now in Japan. Eh, eh, I just don't get it anymore
Right.
because they don't want somebody going through there and wrecking it.
If that's the case, lock that building down.
Yeah.
If that's what the city or state wants to do is preserve it and restore it, lock it down to where nobody can get in.
Yep.
Don't make it accessible because people will find a way every single time.
Yeah.
And
It's like
it,
the Andrew Jackson School in Concord, North Carolina. They fenced it all up, but people took bolt cutters and still made holes in the fences.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm like, that is so risky because I've seen it. because I used to live 15 minutes away from it. I've seen the outside,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it's right next door to a police station.
Yeah.
Right.
Ah.
There's a lot of people, a lot of places that are close to police stations. There's St. Mary's Mercy Hospital in Gary, Indiana is literally a part of the hospital.
Mhm.
The police station is literally a part of it. We pull up into the parking lot and realize that the police station is there. We get out of the car and there's cops everywhere, and they're just sitting around smoking cigarettes, eating donuts, drinking coffee, whatever they're doing. And they just waved to us, and we waved back at them and walk in the building. I mean, they probably saw the fact that I had a gimbal and a camera and all that kind of
Yeah.
extra stuff. They realized I wasn't toting a backpack full of paint spray paint or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It-
even regards, at least come over and ask us what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't mind people being in there, come and ask us still what we're doing, because if we have any ill intention at all, then you should stop us.
Yeah.
Gary is just kind of one of those places, though. They've given up on urbexers and ghost hunters and people going through there just for the simple fact that there's too many of us.
Mhm.
So these buildings get set on fire and all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah. It's just sad, that I think. Oh,
That's how I feel about seeing pictures of the Hellfire Club in Ireland.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's no fun at all.
Yeah. Did a TikTok on it, but I was trying to find a decent photo. But all the recent photos, I couldn't use any recent photo because all it was is graffiti everywhere and trash everywhere. And I'm like, okay, I guess we have to use someone's older photo because I can't look how beautiful this building was, and you just see graffiti everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I have different aspects with graffiti. So if you go to Norwich State Hospital, there's many rooms that have graffiti, obviously.
Mhm.
However, there are many rooms that if you walk into a room in one of the buildings, you'll see that it is completely cleaned. It's completely cleaned out. That's because whoever did the graffiti in there needed the space and needed everything to be extremely clean and sterile and everything else. I myself don't have a problem with art.
Mhm.
And graffiti can be art, and I don't have a problem with that. My problem is the fact that people will just spray Vince was here on the wall.
Yeah, I see.
Dude, if you go in there and you come and you go in and make a masterpiece, you clean up after yourself, I don't have a problem with that. As long as the building's not being restored and not being preserved or whatever, a little artwork on the wall is not going to hurt nobody and is probably going to make for a really nice photo. I don't have a problem with it. But if you're just going to go in there and spray paint dicks out all over the wall, then there's nothing tasteful about it, and there's no reason to do it at all. There's a there's a doctor's house at Norwich that literally has blue in every room, on every surface of every single wall and furniture and fireplace, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The cat really loves you.
Art. Nah, he sees everything paranormal. Anything paranormal.
Cat is 26 years old in human years, so.
Oh my God.
He's an he's an old goat.
He's an old goat. That's fine. All right, so we're coming to our end. I have children and responsibilities and stuff, and it's getting late.
Okay.
I really had an awesome time with you guys. What time are we going on tomorrow?
Same time tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow with Pablo.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. So everyone who's you can't get enough events, come back tomorrow. He'll be here.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you tomorrow. And everyone else, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
All right.